Hi Aries, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so you won't miss any further videos. So I am doing a tarot reading for the sign of Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and Venus. And this will be for the last half of September, or the last week of September now. This month just flew on by. So this will be specifically for love and spirituality, because that's what people tend to need the most guidance in. But sometimes finances and other areas of life kind of sneak through into the energy, so whatever comes through, I will deliver the messages to you, and hopefully they give you some type of guidance and clarity. So Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And I'll be doing an extended video for this as well, and it'll be down in the description box, so make sure you check that out when you're finished watching this video. So we're going to do 3 for the past position. 8 of Wands, 3 of Wands, then the Star card. So it looks like something, okay, let me show you the cards first. The 8 of Wands is here, the 3 of Wands in reverse, and the Star card. So it looks like something moved extremely fast for you in the past. Could have been a relationship, could have been you feeling like you're growing at a rapid rate, but something moved very fast. Like there's a lot of fast moving energy in your recent past, and then it looks like it suddenly came to a halt and it suddenly came to a standstill. So the energy that I'm picking up is like rushing into something, or like jumping headfirst into something only to find out that it's not what it appeared to be, and it having to come to a standstill is what I'm seeing. And then because of that, it's some type of like healing that was stagnated, or it was some type of wish that was not granted, is what I'm seeing. So I'm seeing 2 different messages. One is for love and one is more so for spirituality. So for the love part, I'm seeing, like I said, you could have jumped into something quickly, or there was something that was something or someone that you invested in that things picked up rapidly. Like it looks like things just happened very quickly, more quickly than you expected them to happen, and then suddenly, like most things that are kind of rushed into, they come to a halt because they're not built on a very solid stable foundation. They come to a quick halt, and then things are not as they appear to be, and then the wish that you had for this person or for the situation, just it does not get granted. For the spirituality side of it, I feel like some of you were undergoing some type of really rapid growth, like a lot of unfortunate events or a lot of things have happened to you in the recent past that has made you feel like you are, it's like constantly dying and being reborn, constantly dying and being reborn is what I'm seeing. So it's like, what I'm getting is like in the past year, you could have been undergoing so many events that cause you to shift yourself so quickly. It's like you feel kind of, the word I'm hearing is like disillusioned, that you're feeling like there's no growth or no healing that's taking place because of all of the unfortunate events that's been happening. But there is a lot of spiritual growth that's taking place. You kind of just don't see it yet, is what I'm seeing. Because I know I tweeted the other day something like, the old me is pretty much gone, but then the new me is not born yet. So pretty much I'm in the womb. That's the energy that I'm getting from your past. Like you're not really seeing the healing or the growth that has taken place because things have been happening so quickly. It's like the energy is just now starting to die down, and you feel kind of like, okay, you feel kind of lost. You feel like you haven't gotten anywhere. You feel like you've been knocked down a lot. But what I'm seeing is that there has been a lot of spiritual growth. You just don't see it yet because you're in like this very weird limbo state. And with the Sun card being at the bottom of the deck, that pretty much solidifies what I just said. You are undergoing spiritual growth, and you are undergoing a important transformation that needed to take place. So you just don't see the positives of it yet, but the positive aspect of it is coming. So let's see, that was for the past. Let's see for the present position. The 4 of Pentacles in reverse, the Hangman, 10 of Swords, and the Devil card in reverse at the bottom of the deck. So we have the 4 of Pentacles in reverse, the Hangman in reverse, and then we also have the 10 of Swords in the reverse. So for some of you who were dealing with a love situation that things happen very quickly or things progress very quickly, there was a lot of like passion. I'm seeing that some of you, this relationship could have started out, I know this is a little personal, but this is what I'm hearing, this relationship could have started out with just sex and then kind of progressed into something more. But it looks like you're being forced to let that go, or you're being recommended to let that go. Like if you're still kind of thinking about the passion that was behind the relationship, or like the emotional charge behind the relationship, it's time to let that die down is what I'm seeing. But I feel like for a lot of you, this is dying down. Even if you didn't necessarily want it to, because of the amount of time that has passed or because of the way things have went, it's like your emotions have been like on a high is what I'm seeing. And now this will be your emotions on the high. And then now it's like you're needing to let it go now. You could have been hanging on to this stage of the relationship where there was a lot of passion and a lot of things, a lot of energy that you both were giving to each other, and that can become kind of addictive is what I'm seeing. So you needed some time kind of to let that go and to kind of withdraw from all that highly charged emotion is what I'm seeing. And for some of you, this could apply to this last group, or it could be a whole separate group too, because this is more of the spirituality side of it. I'm seeing that you're needing to learn how to release and let go. Because, like I said, I feel like this Eight of Wands is representing a bunch of events that took place for you in the recent past, or in the past year it could be. A bunch of events that took place that you just kept getting knocked down, and each time you had to pick yourself back up. It's like you're getting knocked down and picking yourself back up, and you're leveling up each time. So you are growing, you just don't see it because all you're focused on is how many times you keep getting knocked down. But there's a need for you to kind of learn how to release the fact that you may have lost in some situations is what I'm seeing. It's like you feel like you kept on getting knocked down, so you're focusing on the losses instead of focusing on the fact that you keep on getting up and you keep on leveling up each time. So there's a need for you to kind of change your perspective on that. With the Hangman being here in the middle of the reading, is the Hangman in reverse. That talks about it being time for you to move forward. Because I feel like with the Three of Wands being on top of the Hangman, in the past there was a standstill, or you had to stand still because you didn't know which direction to go and you really didn't have a plan because things happened so quickly for you. This could be in a love situation, this could be in your spiritual path, but whatever it was, things happened so quickly for you and then kind of fell apart so quickly you didn't know exactly which way to go. You were kind of feeling lost and confused. So now in the present, it's saying that it is time for you to get moving now, that now you've gained enough clarity for you to make a decision to move forward, and that you can't keep staying stagnant and stuck in this energy. So with the Ten of Swords being here in the reverse, and it's right underneath the Star card, this is basically summing up how you're feeling at the moment. So the Star card is usually about healing, about optimism, about guidance, you following like your higher self and your guides in order to lead you in the right direction. But when it's in the reverse, it's talking about you not being able to follow that guidance, you not knowing which is the right way to go, you not knowing where your next step is, or being afraid to take that next step because you keep on getting knocked down, so you kind of want to stay stagnant where you are. Because as long as you stay where you are, motorcycles going by, of course, during my reading, but as long as you stay where you are, then that means that you don't have to worry about getting knocked down. But like I said, with that Hangman being in the reverse here, it's time for you to come out of that energy. It's time for you to come out of this energy of feeling knocked down, because in the upright you can clearly see this is someone who has been like, can you even see this? This is someone who's been like really, you can see the image. Someone who's been beaten down really badly, who has been, like I said, knocked down over and over and over again. And because it's coming up in the reverse, it's saying that it's time for you to come out of that energy. Like you've had enough time to really process everything. You've had enough time to really sit and ponder everything, and you can't stay here. Like it's time for you to move on to the next stage of whatever this is, whether it be the love relationship that you need to move away from, the energy, or just your spiritual path in general. It's like you've been stuck, you've been stagnant enough, and it's time for you to make the conscious decision to move forward. And you know exactly which way to go now, because the Star card is in the reverse, but that's in the past, meaning that you were confused and lost in the past. But because you've had time with this Hangman energy to gain enlightenment and to really sit around and think about what you've learned from this situation, what you've learned from this past cycle, who you want to be now in this new cycle, it's time to stop thinking about it now, and it's time to start doing it. So the Devil card being in the reverse, this talks about releasing any type of toxic and negative energy, and that was the point of this whole past cycle that you've been through, was to release all negative energy that keeps you stuck, that keeps you bonded to your past. So if you've had any type of issues with codependency, if you had any type of issues with addiction, if you had any type of, even just something minor like that, you procrastinate a lot, this is like you going through this cycle that you've been through in the past, and it has basically taught you how to shed all of this energy. And it may have been very uncomfortable, because with this 8 of Wands, this is like fast growth. Like, this is like, how do I explain this? This is like someone who would probably go through 10 years of going through very crazy experiences to learn. It's like you've been through 10 years of experience in 1 year. It's like really fast, rapid growth. And I feel like the reason that is because you're about to step into this new cycle, and you had to shed all of this lower energy. You had to shed anything that was holding you back. So this could apply to your spiritual path, this could apply to your beliefs, this could apply to your habits, but this could also apply to a love situation. So specifically for the people who this is a love situation and things progressed really quickly and then things came to a standstill, there's no need to feel any type of shame about that. Like, if you're regretting it, like, oh, I wish I would have never jumped in so fast, or I wish I would have never, you know, made the decision to open up so quickly, or things like that. You really didn't have a choice, is what I'm saying. You really didn't have a choice. This is a person who came across your path that you were supposed to become attached to, that you were supposed to have this type of bond with really quickly, because you were supposed to learn this spiritual lesson, or this lesson about love and the way that you show up in your relationships, or the way that you set boundaries, or the way that you take care of yourself. Like, this needed to happen for you to see all of these things within yourself. So you needed to kind of be attached to that person in order to learn the lesson from that person. And now it's time for you, after you've learned the lesson, to let that situation go, let any shame go associated with that person, anything that they've done to you, working towards forgiveness, anything that you have done to yourself. Like, if you have betrayed yourself in some way, or you feel like you did not treat yourself right in that situation, it's also time to let that go, because all of this was for your spiritual growth and evolution, so it could not have really been avoided. So I'm going to pull 3 cards for the future outcome, and we're going to look at those 3 cards in the extended. The Ace of Swords, the 7 of Swords. That wanted to come out too earlier when I was meditating on your energy, so I knew that card was going to pop out, and the 5 of Wands. So for the future outcome, we have the Ace of Swords, which usually talks about mental clarity. We have the 7 of Swords in reverse, coming out of deception, which is great news for a future outcome card. And then we have the 5 of Wands, which can either talk about conflict, or it could either talk about people working together. I won't know until I actually pull clarifying cards for it. So that is what we will look at in the extended version, and I will leave the link to the extended down below. So I will see you guys over there on Vimeo. Bye.